Recording, everybody, we're recording today. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Gentlemen, we have more to do. This here is my pressure washer. I picked this up, I don't know how many years ago, 4 or 5, whatever years ago. I just put a new hose on it the other day. The other hose cracked and was bad. This is a North Star unit, 3000 ppw, whatever. I guess, well, this is a cat pump on here. And they say these cat pumps have 9 lives. I may have just used up one of them. What's happening? Well, I guess a little bit more background. This is a 3600 PSI pump, 4.2 gallons per minute. This is a pump where you squeeze the trigger on the handle and it actually pushes you back, and it's got some power and it'll take some paint off things. So what is going on with this pump is when I'm washing, I'm doing stuff, what does it do? It does things. Every now and then you pull the trigger on the handle and you get like a vibration kind of through the handle, and you don't get full power, full pissies coming out. You can kind of tell. And then other times you squeeze the handle a couple more times and then it's smooth and you can tell like it's got a lot more power. It pushes you back more. I'm hoping that it's just the seals in the pump. That seems to be the most common deal with these. Down in here, I got to pull this block off right here. There's valves, 6 of them in these, and I picked up a 3-pack of those. Those typically don't go bad, but I picked up 3 anyhow, so when I have this apart, if I find a bad one, I can fix it and probably just replace 2 others that look kind of funny. What I am primarily getting after in this pump is there are some seals, some O-ring seals, not O-rings, but actual like round, kind of like hydraulic seals. They're super robust, and they ride on ceramic pistons that this pump drives. It has like a crankshaft through there, and then almost like lobes on a cam. They're offset lobes, and they drive like a connecting rod kind of, and then the ceramic pistons, and that's what does the pumping through here. And each one increases the PSI until you get whatever you're at, and comes out the hose and squirts and takes stuff off of stuff. So yeah, what I'm going to be doing, it should be simple, is pull all these bolts off right here, unhook a couple of hoses, and pull this block off, and we should see the pistons. Hopefully those are good, because those are, even though they're little ceramic pistons about that long, and I think they said, what was it, 15 millimeter in size by 47 millimeter long, they're like $50 each. So I'm hoping there's no wear on them, there's not a cracked one. Like I said, when I'm squeezing the handle, it does work like it should most times. So I'm hoping it's just a bad seal that every now and then the seal is leaking, or maybe even, like I said, one of the valves is not closing and doing what it's supposed to do. But yeah, I'm gonna set you guys up. We're gonna pull this off. I'll take it up on the bench and we can work in a place that has more light and cleaner and stuff and whatnot. Sit down, grab a beer, and watch me work. I'm assuming since those pistons are metric, the rest of this junk is metric too, which simple. Does this unscrew? Sure don't. No, right away. Can't be easy. Well, oh, that wasn't bad. Probably replace that O-ring on there. Just like anything else, cylinder heads, anything that has multiple bolts like this, I always start on the outside first and work your way in, loosening, and then likewise when tightening it down, start from the center and work your way out, go in stages. So now this should just come right off. Oh. Carefully. Carefully. Nice. Oh, holy cow, are you dumb today? You guys are all laughing. Yeah, come on from here. You left some bolts in it. Oh, it'll come right off. Oh, careful. There we go. Oh, water everywhere. These are those ceramic pistons. It's just a bolt that holds them in. From what I can see, they look pretty darn good. There's no lip on them. I don't see no cracks, no chunking. If there's chunks on the piston, that means that the seal is probably tore up. Pretty good chance that those chunks are probably dried on seal or something. It's possible that somebody at one point maybe ran this dry for a while and problems. Here, I'll turn this over. You can see those things. You see those pistons go in and out. That's all they move. Just that little bit. There, let's take this pump up on the bench and get into it. So there's the seals. There are these seals. That should just, yep, pop right out of there. Pretty much a solid seal, like a hydraulic seal. Super robust. Yeah, it's almost like plastic, it feels like. That one. You be very careful when you're pulling these out. You don't scar up the bore that they sit in. You just want to barely get underneath the lip and pop those out. And then these are supposed to just pop right out. See how easy? Just popped right out of there. We'll abuse a couple of screwdrivers. Get them in opposite ends here. There we go. That's just the bronze. This whole thing is brass. There's a little bit of sand in there. Oh, that's weird. Oh, maybe that came in from the edge here. There's sand on the edge. Yeah, that wasn't inside of there. I brushed that in. There's an O-ring right here. This O-ring gets replaced too. Right there. And I'm going to keep these in order because there is holes and ports and I don't know if they're different sizes or not. Yeah, it's good to keep them in order. And there's more seals down inside here. These are the same thing. They just carefully pop up. There's a seal. This one I thought was supposed to have a spring on the inside, but it doesn't. It's got a concave. Concave faces in, and the dome part of the seal faces out. So you got a seal and then this backup plastic ring underneath it. This one, there's notches in it. The notches face down into the pump. So the notches are on this side. The notches face down and the crown faces up. That's the seals for the pistons. That's all there is for those. I'm going to tip this over and get that dirt out of there quick. This is my kits. So we got, these are the valves. These are the up in here. And either these, one of these three, or one of these lower three. We gotta pull those out and look. And here's the new seal kit. Yeah, I don't know. A little bit different. The white things in this one are black, and the seals in these, a couple of them have springs in them. Look a little bit different, but I don't know. We'll see. So the high pressure side is this side. So I'm assuming if a valve is bad, it would be on the high pressure side. Or could it be on the low pressure side where it's not letting the water in? Well, let's see how hard it is to get these off. This is a 15/16, so I'm assuming these are metric, probably a 23, or I don't know, maybe, what is that? Maybe a 24 even? There was a red Loctite on there, and there's an O-ring in here. Let's see. How was I taking it apart like this? So this is for this one. There's that valve. I mean, I don't know. There's a spring in there, and that spring isn't pushing on this little diaphragm, whatever that means. I don't know if that's supposed to be or not. I kind of feel like it should be. You guys, it's going to be really hard for you to see, but there's that spring right there. That spring inside of there, and that spring is not making contact with this metal disc on the end. There's actually a piece in there that kind of flops around. I don't know if you guys can see that. Let's pull out another one and see what another one looks like. Oh, there is an O-ring down inside here too. This one, the spring is pushing down on it. So yeah, it must be something hanging that spring up, where that spring was broken, that other one. I wonder if this plunger, oh yeah. See a plunger down inside of there. Actually moves. That's what pushes up on the spring. So that's like a check valve right there. So this one, well, no, that's kind of working. Well, that spring is up against it now. It didn't look like it was before, but maybe it was stuck. I don't know. Let's pull more out. Let's see if I can get these O-rings out. That one. That one. Oh, come on now. There we go, and that one. Since we're here, pull out these three too. Put these on this side. There's an O-ring. There is new O-rings in there, but keep those there just in case. This one looks like it's okay. Yeah, that one seems perfect. Actually, it looks cleaner on this side. This is the low pressure side. This is the water coming in through these. So that one looks cleaner than the high pressure side ones. You got this one. Yeah, same thing. Looks, well, a little bit dirty on top of the plunger here. But the inside, the spring and everything, looks much cleaner than the high pressure side. Every fall I do pull the plugs on the ends here. I drain that water out before I store it. So no, it is not really, it's not an issue for me leaving water in it and freezing over winter. This one looks same as other ones on the low pressure side. Plunger works good. Yeah, this whole block is all brass. Soft bristle brush, go through these threads, get this Loctite out, go outside with a hose and blow this all out with a hose, and then use air, blow out the rest, make sure it's clean. So I might, just because I have them, I might replace all the high pressure side, because the low pressure all looks really clean, really nice. And the seals, it's always hard to tell. I mean, unless it's like totally tore up and obvious. If you got a small leak or something somewhere, like a small intermittent issue like I had, it's very, you never know. Like just the wear on the seal itself, like the seal getting opened up, and they get hard over time too, so they're not sealing up against that piston really nicely. Yeah, it's always hard to tell. So yeah, I will obviously do that seal kit, because that's what we got it for. This is a soft bristle brush, but you still got to watch the metal on the end doesn't tear stuff up. I'm not going to go super crazy in here. In fact, on the seal side, I'm not hardly anything at all. What I'm most concerned about is these threads. Just give them a little brushing, just to break up that Loctite that's in there. In here now, because we only got O-rings for one side, we got to reuse these O-rings for the low side here. There's kind of a groove down in there for that O-ring to sit in. Maybe it's got to go down in there first and then this goes in. Yeah, there we go. It feels a little funny. Let's see if one of these high pressure ones are clean. Well, that one has actually got, here we go, you can see maybe, see a little flint coming off of there, or a little glint, or whatever you want to call it, a little hair. So this O-ring is definitely tore up, shot. Let's pull all these O-rings off these caps. So I got to go through and clean up the threads on these caps. I think these caps are all the same. I wire wheeled the threads on the bench grinder. Now I'm just going in this corner with a brush, just to get where that O-ring will sit. Just make sure there ain't no junk in there. See, there's a little bit of Loctite right there. Get that out of there. Don't want to get crazy on it. You don't want to mar it up. Insides of here, that's not a big deal. You can spin this in here a little bit, break up any junk that's in there, but yeah, there's nothing to really worry about in there. Pick out the 3 best O-rings out of this whole bunch. Honestly, with putting Loctite on these, O-rings are kind of just redundant on the outside here. The Loctite is honestly going to do most of the sealing. I understand why they put it on there, to keep it from vibrating out. And usually you want to try and not, I mean, you want to use a tool and ride that O-ring all the way around so you're not rolling the O-ring on. But there's enough slop in there when that O-ring gets on there, it normalizes and spins back to where it's supposed to be. Alright, so there's 3 O-rings on. Oh, they had red Loctite on there. That seems a little excessive to me, but I guess, whatever. I don't think that's super tight, so just a little. Just a single click, click. All right, flip her around. Put these bottom ones in. These will be all the new ones. Put these O-rings in. Make sure our pick is clean. Alright, those are all cleaned up. That first poppet valve, one valve that we pulled off, up in here, this cup actually looks different than the other ones as well. See how it's like shiny or clean or whatever. And this one, that was that very first one I pulled off. So I feel like that one was acting funny. I'm thinking that's where the issue was coming from, just that one. So we'll find out. And unfortunately, because of this Loctite, I will have to wait till tomorrow to run this and try it. There we go. Definitely don't want to mar up the insides of the seal surfaces. And that other seal on the inside rides on this concave lip. So you see, I don't know, you probably can't see. There's actually like a dome on the seal and a concave here, and that sits inside of there. You know, so be careful not to mar that up. And the inside right here is where the other seal sits inside of there. But like this outside, I'm gonna try run a wire wheel around that too. See if we can clean that up for that O-ring. Take the soft bristle brush again here. I'm just gonna run that around inside of that bore. Just make sure there's no crappy in there. Now you can see what I'm doing is I'm making sure the end is sticking out so that metal isn't marring into something. Oh yeah! O-rings. Seals. Gaskets. Oh yeah. We gotta figure out. So we got uno, dos, tres of those. Uno, dos, tres. Those and this. Okay, so yeah. The backer rings go in there. And so. And then there again, the 4 grooves go down in the pump. And then these seals, these are actually just plastic. Yeah, that's not an actual seal. That must be like a guide for that piston on the outside there. The dome up, concave down. And they go in there kind of snug. Make sure that they're sitting nice and flush, flat, seated well in there. And then these seals, the new ones, you can see that's just like actually like grease or something that's in there. Actually, that's kind of, I feel like I should clean that out. It was grease, but it's like dried up. I don't know, these must have sat on the shelf for a little while. But these have a spring on this back side, which the original ones, oh, they do. Yeah, the original ones do. They just, it's buried in there. So there is a spring. Okay. The spring goes which way? The pressure is on that side, so the spring should go towards the pressure side, right? That's how it usually is. Pretty sure. Oh, what am I doing? I'm stupid. These have to go in there first. Edit that right out. Just never mind all that. Get the new O-rings in here. Wiggle it around and spin it so it settles in. So if it does go on twisted or something for some reason, it straightens itself out. Working, okay. And these, actually want to give a drop of oil to. This was the first one. And there's holes in here. I'm going to put the holes straight up and down. I don't know. I don't think it matters, but just for my thought is for draining water, if the holes are on the sides, it might hold some water in there. If the holes are straight up and down, then you should be able to drain all the water out of the unit when you pull the plugs out. They all sit at the same plane, so that's good. I'm going to clean that old grease out of all these. Got that old grease cleaned out of those, that dried up junk, whatever is in there, sitting on the shelf forever. When I go to put this pump back on, I'll put some grease in these. Well, I'll put it in now when it's on the bench, but just so those pistons are lubed up right off the bat. I mean, typically, almost always, any kind of seal like this, oil seals, water seals, any kind of seals, the side that has that spring on it, that's the side that would face the fluid. Because it uses that cup inside of that seal, like where that spring is, it uses that, the pressure goes in there and actually pushes that seal up against a piston or a rod or whatever is on the inside of that. So I'm thinking that's how it was. I was just looking for a witness marker when I pulled those out with the pick, just to be sure that that's what it was. I'm almost certain it was, because I don't remember seeing that line. Yeah, right there. I think that's a mark from when I was pulling it out. I nicked it with a pick. Yeah, it's on that spring side. So yeah, spring side faces down with the spring in. Just like that. Typically I like to put oil on these as well when I'm putting them in, but these are going in fairly easy. Little dab of fresh. Red and tacky. On the inside is little seals. Even on this outside, and that's fine. Alright, let's go toss her back on. Right? Yeah? Oh yeah. Holes underneath there. You don't want to force that on. You just move it around slowly while you're putting a little pressure on it until it just slips right on. There again, same for any seal. You don't want those seals, those lips, to fold over on themselves. That's why you kind of rock them around to get that lip to get started all the way around on whatever shaft or piston or whatever you're sticking it on. Start from the inner bolts and work your way out. Turning each one just a little bit at a time. Until everything, that pump bottoms out. bring up these outside ones. And there was not a lot of torque on these. I don't know what the actual torque spec is. There is one for this. But I'm just gonna bring them up. Again, moving it around constantly. Bring it up to what I felt like it came off like. And because we got grease on those seals, I'm going to turn the motor over by hand here and make sure that it, yep, turns over nice and easy. I want to replace this O-ring on here while I got this off, I think. Get this O-ring on here. Oh, she's crusty. Oh yeah. It never leaked, but I mean, I'm here, mazel. Oh, that's rusty. New O-ring. That should be good. If it leaks, we'll just tighten her up more. All right, there we go. That's one Cat, what is this? Cat 5DX 40G1 pump. Resealed. There is, well, obviously more gaskets and seals in the crank part of it. There's actually oil that sits in there. I never seen water or anything get in there, so I'm not too worried about that yet. Oil doesn't leak out of there. Oil leaks out of the motor somewhere a little bit. I don't know where, but I ain't worried about that either yet. But yeah, that's just the water side. That was the part that I had some problem with. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. Like I said, I got that Loctite on there, so I gotta wait till tomorrow to give it a try, but through the magic of editing and videos and just science, it's gonna be like right now for you guys. Hey, looking at me? All right, I'm wearing the same clothes, yes, but it is the next day, and yeah, we're gonna see if it works. I was gonna put oh, there's already one in here. Get that out. I'm gonna put a new seal in this hose inlet if I can get the old one out. Well, just come out of there. All right, let's hook up the water. Oh, got a leak. I gotta tighten that down. Guess I didn't do that. There. It smells like something burning out here. Canada still on fire? Well, I think it is. Yeah. Okay. Water's in and running. Before I start any pressure washer, you hook up the water, pull the trigger, get all the air out. Air. Before you start it. Air's horrible on any pump. Hydraulic, pressure washer. pumps, other pumps, like pumps, just air's bad for them, unless it's an air pump. Then fluid's bad for it. Yeah, you keep that pulled until you don't hear any more air. Luckily on this pump there is an unloader here, so that stays down. I crank that down so the pressure is very low on the start till you get all the air bubbles, everything worked out of it, and then I crank it up to working PCs and go to work. So let's start her up. Fuel on, fuel's on, choke. This is a Honda, so it should start on first pull. Oh, yeah. Shut choke off. And even here, I leave it on. I don't crank the motor all the way up. I leave it a little bit lower. You see more air bubbles coming out. Just keep going until there's no air. Up a little bit. I'll close the unloader. Feels really good. I don't feel that pulsing in it like I did before. Crank up the pissies here a little bit. See, I'm moving that tree out there. That tree's a good 20 yards, 60 feet. Now the wind is blowing back at me. Yeah, I think it is. Feels good. And then shutdown procedure. I always idle way down, open the unloader. So there's no pressure. Release the pressure out of the wand and just shut down. Unhook the hose. Release the pressure again, and it's weird, but you let this sit and somehow pressure builds up again. I don't know if it's the heat in this closed system that builds up some pressure, because I'll come back and I'll squeeze this and I'll get some spurts out of it even after a while. I am still using this and it is still summer, so I'm not going to drain it, obviously. But I do make sure that the pressure is all taken out of it. There we go. That job is done. Thank you all for watching. Please like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Please. See some future videos of who knows what.